More transitions for Trump's transition team. Former Congressman Mike Rogers abruptly resigned from that team today, removing an establishment national security voice from key deliberations about how Trump will build his cabinet. Rogers called his work with Team Trump a, quote, privilege, but reports suggest that warring factions, particularly those around Donald Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and former transition team head Chris Christie, have gotten this admin building adventure off to a slow and rocky start. Legal paperwork installing Mike Pence as the new head of Trump's transition team is delaying coordination with the White House, and Bloomberg is reporting that the Departments of Defense, Justice, State, and Homeland Security, all pretty big departments, still haven't heard a peep from Trumpland. Today, Paul Ryan, who was unanimously reelected as Speaker of the House, went out of his way to support Trump and defend his White House staff hire. So, Mark, we're going to talk a little. We're in a transitional moment here, but let's start with the big picture question. How's the transition going?
I mean, not as smoothly as it could. There are factions in Trump Tower. There are the decision to replace Christie has had fallout that continues to fall out. But I've covered a lot of transitions. There's always drama, and I think people are both overstating the drama and understating the extent to which this happens. The proof will be in the pudding. He's got to be ready by January 20th. There's still plenty of time to do it. But the decision to put in Christie and now remove him is having a lot of repercussions.
They are utterly, at this moment, totally, completely, abjectly unprepared to take over running the government. And at this stage, yes, there's always infighting. That's all true. The fact that they have that as Bloomberg reports, that most of the major government agencies right now can't get their phone calls returned, and the Trump transition team has not yet signed the documentation that would allow them to begin to interface with those agencies that they're going to be taking over in 66 days, right, is a sign that they do not have their acts together at all.
Post 9/11, the expectations of how fast the transition will be is much greater, as it should be. And they shouldn't be scrambling. But I'll just say they do have time, and this is what happens when the country elects an outsider. It's going to, they got a bunch of people who've never done this before. They're still learning the ropes. This needs to be watched closely. If they get further down the road and they still are not geared up, it's going to be a problem. But there's still time to do it.
I don't disagree. There's time to do it, and we will judge their state of preparedness and how well they handle their transition when they actually make the formal transition and he becomes president of the United States. But at this hour, they're not where they should be. And again, yes, maybe a reflection of an outsider president, but when you have people wandering around the West Wing when they went to visit President Obama asking, how many of these jobs do we need to fill? I mean, how many people stay and how many people go? That's a sign of cluelessness that even people who are not insiders should know. If you watch the West Wing, you should know that you have to replace all those people. That's how it works.
It's all potentially a problem, and it's certainly troubling. But this is the kind of thing that shows once again that the press is obsessed about process when it comes to Donald Trump. When there's, dude,
if Hillary Clinton was doing this, I'd be obsessed with it too. It has nothing to do with Donald Trump. If they were walking around the White House wondering, hey, how many of these jobs do we have to fill? I promise you, I would criticize the Clinton administration just as much.
I think we can give them another week and see where they stand.
Okay.